Vedanta. This literally means the end of the Vedas. It doesn't mean the Vedas are finished. It means Vedanta is the ultimate realization that all the Vedic teachings were pointing toward. Where the early Vedas dealt with rituals, sacrifices, and hymns to the gods, Vedanta goes straight into the nature of existence itself. It asks, what is reality? Who am I? What is the ultimate truth behind this world? According to Vedanta, there is only one ultimate reality, Brahman, the infinite, formless, timeless consciousness that underlies everything. Brahman is not a god among gods. It is the source of all gods, the ground of being itself. Every living being carries within it the same essence, known as Atman, the individual self. Vedanta declares that Atman is Brahman. You are not a small separate soul trying to reach God. You are already divine, but caught in illusion. That illusion is called Maya, the cosmic dream that makes the one appear as many. Through Maya, consciousness projects a world of duality, me and you, good and evil, life and death. The tragedy and comedy of human life is that we mistake this projection for the real thing. We identify with the body and mind, forgetting that we are the awareness witnessing it all. The goal of Vedanta is self-realization, to awaken from the dream of separation and realize that your true self has always been infinite, changeless consciousness. When this realization dawns, moksha, liberation is achieved. The cycle of birth and death ends, and you no longer seek heaven or salvation because you found the divine within. Sankhya. Sankhya is one of the most ancient systems of Indian philosophy, a map that tries to explain how the universe came into being. The word Sankhya means to enumerate or to count, because it breaks reality down into a list of 25 principles that explain everything from the unseen spirit to the physical world around us. Basically, Sankhya is a philosophy of dualism. It teaches that there are two eternal realities, Purusha and Prakriti. Purusha is pure consciousness, the silent witness, the soul that observes but never acts. Prakriti, on the other hand, is nature itself, the dynamic creative energy that forms everything we see, from thoughts to galaxies. When these two interact, the dance of creation begins. Prakriti contains three forces, called the gunas: sattva, which is balance and clarity; rajas, which is activity and passion; and tamas, inertia and darkness. Every being and every experience in life is shaped by these three qualities in different proportions. When Rajas dominates, we're restless and driven. When Tamas takes over, we're lazy or confused. When Sattva rises, we find peace, wisdom, and light. Sankhya doesn't talk about a personal god. Instead, it presents a spiritual science, a way to understand the machinery of existence. Liberation comes when you realize that you are not Prakriti, not the body, mind, or emotions, but the pure Purusha that simply observes them. Nyaya. This is the Indian school of logic, founded by the sage Gautama, also known as Akshapada. While other philosophies focused on meditation, rituals, or cosmic energy, it said, wait, before we talk about truth, let's make sure we know how to think correctly. It's a system built on reasoning, analysis, and the search for knowledge through evidence. The word itself means method or rule, and it teaches that liberation comes not from blind belief or mysticism alone, but from clear understanding. According to this philosophy, ignorance is the root of suffering, and the only way out is true knowledge, knowledge that corresponds to reality and can be verified through logic. It recognizes four valid sources of knowledge: perception or pratyaksha, direct experience through the senses; inference or anumana, logical reasoning, like seeing smoke and knowing there's fire; comparison or apamana, understanding something by relating it to what we already know; verbal testimony or shabda, trusting reliable words such as sacred texts or enlightened teachers. Using these tools, the system developed a highly detailed science of logic and debate, long before Aristotle or Descartes. It explored fallacies, doubt, and argument structure, not to win arguments, but to purify the intellect and bring the seeker closer to truth. Once the mind is clear and free from confusion, the soul naturally perceives reality as it truly is. Even though this philosophy is rational and analytical, it's not anti-spiritual. It believes in a divine creator and moral governor of the universe, but insists that faith without understanding is incomplete. You must know why you believe. Charvaka, also called Lokayata, was the bold materialist school of ancient India. It rejected God's karma, rebirth, and even the soul, claiming that only what can be perceived by the senses is real. Anything beyond direct experience was considered imagination or deceit. For the Charvakas, pleasure and pain were the only realities of life. Since there's no afterlife or spiritual world, they argued that people should live fully and enjoy the present moment rather than fear divine punishment or chase salvation. They believe consciousness ends with the body, and moral laws are human inventions. Though dismissed as heretics by others, the Charvakas played a crucial role in Indian philosophy, forcing spiritual traditions to defend their ideas with reason and evidence, not dogma. Yoga. Yoga isn't just about stretching or breathing exercises, it's a complete philosophy of liberation. Its roots lie in the ancient Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, who lived around the 2nd century BCE. In Sanskrit, yoga means union, the merging of the individual self with the universal consciousness. Where Sankhya explains the structure of reality, yoga gives you the method to experience it directly. Patanjali described yoga as the stilling of the fluctuations of the mind. According to him, our suffering comes from identification with those endless mental ripples, thoughts, emotions, desires, and fears. When the mind becomes quiet, the true self shines through, just as the moon is revealed when clouds drift away. The yoga system outlines an eightfold path, known as the Ashtanga Yoga. Yama, moral restraints like nonviolence, truth, and self-control. Niyama, personal disciplines like purity, contentment, and devotion. Asana, postures that strengthen the body and prepare it for meditation. Pranayama, control of breath, which harmonizes the body's energy. Pratyahara, withdrawal of the senses from external distractions. Dharana, concentration on a single object or idea. Dhyana, meditation, the continuous flow of awareness. Samadhi, complete absorption into pure consciousness, the ultimate goal. Through discipline, meditation, and awareness, yoga aims to dissolve the illusion of separation and bring the practitioner into direct union with the divine essence of existence. Buddhism. Buddhism began with Siddhartha Gautama the Buddha, a prince who renounced his palace life to seek the cause of suffering. After deep meditation, he realized that life's pain comes from attachment and craving. His insight became the Four Noble Truths. Life is suffering. Suffering comes from desire. It can be ended, and the way to end it is through the Eightfold Path. Right understanding, thought, speech, action, livelihood, effort, mindfulness, and concentration. Unlike other Indian systems, Buddhism denies a permanent soul. The self, it says, is an illusion, a collection of ever-changing processes called skandhas. Liberation, also known as nirvana, comes when this illusion ends, and the mind becomes free from desire, ignorance, and rebirth. Buddhism's genius lies in its balance. It rejects blind faith and extreme asceticism, offering the middle way, a path of wisdom, ethics, and meditation. Vaisheshika. Vaisheshika is one of the most fascinating schools of Indian thought because it sounds almost scientific, thousands of years before modern physics. Founded by the sage Kanada, its goal was to explain the nature of the physical universe. What is everything made of? The word Vaisheshika comes from Vaishesha, meaning particularity or distinction. This school teaches that reality is composed of individual, eternal atoms, each with unique characteristics that make one object different from another. Vaisheshika divides existence into 7 categories: substance, quality, action, generality, particularity, inherence, and even non-existence. These explain how the universe functions, how things exist, move, and relate to each other. Ajivika. Ajivika was one of the most mysterious and radical schools of ancient Indian thought. Founded by Makali Gosala, a contemporary of the Buddha and Mahavira, the Ajivikas believed that everything in existence is completely determined by fate, a cosmic law they called Niyati. According to Ajivika philosophy, nothing happens by choice, not your actions, not your emotions, not even your enlightenment. Everything unfolds according to a pre-written pattern, like beads sliding on a fixed string. Birth, suffering, joy, death, all are simply stages of a universal mechanism that cannot be altered or escaped. Because of this belief, the Ajivikas denied the power of karma as taught by Hindus and Buddhists. Karma, they said, is an illusion. Our lives don't change because of good or bad deeds, but because destiny makes them so. To them, moral effort was irrelevant. The soul moves through countless rebirths automatically until it reaches its final liberation when the cycle ends by destiny's own design.